Welcome, my viewers and listeners all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you once again to this interesting episode today. We've been on the series of the thinking capacity, of the thinking pattern, and we have discussed the thought process, the thought cycle already. We have also discussed the relevance of thoughts. We have also discussed ways by which we can increase our thinking capacity. These are very key issues that we have discussed, and I'd like you to listen to those episodes seriously so you can form that as a background to this other session. In this episode, we are going to be talking and discussing about the enemies of the thinking capacity, our enemies. Once you don't know your enemy, you can be taken unawares. You need to know your hindrance, you need to know your position, you need to know your weakness. That is why we use SWOT analysis to now know what is making us not to grow. There are enemies that can block your thinking capacity. Once the enemy is known, you can handle them. So there are some enemies that if you allow them into your life, it can hinder your growth, can hinder your progress, can hinder your prosperity. So we are here to discuss enemies of the thinking capacity, because your life depends on your thinking pattern. Your movement to the next level depends on your thinking pattern. So you cannot joke with your thinking capacity this year. If you must move forward, your thinking pattern must change. There have to be a creative thinking. What are those enemies? We are going to be examining them one after the other so we can deal with them precisely. One of the number one enemy of our thinking process is distraction. Distraction is very, very key. Once you engage in a distraction where your life is full with so many things to do, I'm telling you, you will be distracted. You will not be focused on the things that you want to do, and it hinders your thinking pattern. Another enemy, great enemy, is inactivity. Once there is no exercise. In one of the ways that we'll talk about improving our thinking capacity, we talked about brain exercises, physical exercises. So anytime you are inactive, inactivity is one of the major enemy to thinking capacity. One, sedentary lifestyle. Some people are sitting down in one place and they are not doing anything, walking or doing any exercise at all. Is a great enemy. No wonder people that live sedentary lifestyles, they are prone to heart attack, cardiac arrest, and all that. So exercise that we do, activities, increase our brain capacity. In fact, increases our body function, our physiological and psychological status, so that the brain and the thinking capacity can be enhanced. These ones are very, very key. These exercises or activity also involves our brain exercise, which we have elaborated in our previous edition on ways to improve our thinking capacity. So inactivity is a major hindrance, a major enemy to our thinking capacity. What other things are we talking about? We are talking about sleep disorders. Sleep disorders is also an enemy of the thinking capacity. One, lack of sleep, which is insomnia. Once you don't sleep enough, your retentive memory, your level of comprehension, your level of concentration is reduced. In fact, most people that have insomnia, that is, they wake up at random or they cannot even sleep at all. Some people sleep for a little time and they wake up. Some, because of hypertension and the rest, they enter into insomnia. So many things that follow. And as a result, their retentive memory, their level of concentration is reduced. During the day, you see some of them dozing off on top of either reading, on top of eating, on top of activity, on top of work, at work, and others. Some even sleep riding a car and will develop into accidents and the rest. This is what it has caused. So sleep disorders, insomnia, is a major cause of hindrance to thinking capacity. Even excessive sleep, when you sleep too much, again, it's also it dampens. When you sleep too much, it's also a hindrance, an enemy to thinking capacity. Some people sleep from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 12 hours. The brain becomes overwhelmed with excessive sleep. And then activity, alertness is reduced. So we must be ready to deal with sleep disorders. These are very, very key. What other things are we talking about as a major enemy? Overeating, gluttony, overfeeding is a serious enemy to thinking capacity. Do you know that anytime you eat, there is a process we call the postprandial sedation. Anytime you eat, blood is withdrawn from your brain towards your gastrointestinal tract. That is to make sure your digestion and assimilation are also improved. So there is a withdrawal, a sudden withdrawal, a dampness in withdrawal of your blood from concentrating on the brain towards your GIT, your gastrointestinal tract, so that it can digest the food. So when you overeat and that postprandial sedation can set in, you feel drowsy and your brain will not be able to work. Sometimes some people eat so much before they sleep and they sleep too deep. So keeping the brain not at alert at all. Your brain needs to be at alert. Your body needs to be light so that you can think well. When you eat too much, you congest the brain and the thinking capacity is reduced. These are the things we are talking about. You need to eat light. Need to eat light food so that your body can be light and your brain can now think fast. These are the things we are talking about. Some of our people eat akpu, some eat akpu in the night and load their system, frustrating their system, and that also affects the brain. So we must know the kind of food that we eat so that we can also improve our thinking pattern. So that leads me to nutrition, because your nutrition is very, very key. Poor diet is an enemy, because you are what you eat. Some people ate a tree at the beginning of the world and they become what they are. Anything you eat, you become. So eating is very, very important. Some of our children need proteinous foods so it can develop their brain. The brain needs amino acids, proteins that enhances tissue building. These are very, very key. Gone are the days when we say egg and proteins are a taboo for children. No, we should give them enough protein so that they can eat, so their brain can be highly developed. That is why marasmus, those that has kwashiorkor, protein energy malnutrition, those people have brain derangement. Their brains are poorly developed. Kwashiorkor, marasmic kwashiorkor, their brain, because they load their system with more of energy and no protein. And the brain needs amino acids and protein to be able to develop. So diet is very, very important. So we must know the kind of diet, especially at the developmental stage, milestones of children, which is very, very key. We must watch our diet. Even at adult age, diet that you eat are also very, very important. As you grow old, some of the food you eat, beef, are very toxic to your system. So you must watch out. They can influence your level of electrolytes, your urea and creatinine. These are very, very key issues that we need to discuss. As we go along, I'll be offloading this one in quantum so that we can know what kind of diet we'll be talking about. What other things are enemies? Stress, excessive stress. Stress secretes cortisol, a hormone that reduces our function and gives us a negative mood. Once you are on a negative mood, your brain is dampened. It does not work to full capacity. And so we must be able to reduce our stress, our level of stress drastically. Reduce your stress to a minimum level so that your brain can pick up and increase your thinking capacity. What of the noisy environment? Noisy environment is an enemy to thinking capacity. Once the place is so noisy, where is the time for you to concentrate? Where is the focus? You'll be distracted. So noise is a major distraction to thinking capacity. So that is why we talk of giving yourself a distraction-free mode. Run away from noise. Learn to be alone. Atmosphere of thinking, atmosphere of creativity, atmosphere of retention and focus and comprehension. These are the things we are talking about. So noisy environment is a major enemy. What are that things? Sickness, diseases, infirmities and affliction is a major enemy to thinking capacity. Health is wealth. Anytime your body is not functioning well, your brain also is involved. In fact, common malaria can make you not to even think anything, to forget your name. Some other diseases, by the time you are afflicted, you are even thinking of how you get out of that calamity than thinking of any innovation or thinking of solving any problem at all. So sickness, affliction, adversities, and infirmities are serious enemies. So we need to take care of our body, take care of our health, because one single sickness can clear all your wealth of your whole lifetime. If you develop a renal failure or a liver failure or a cancer, most of your investment will be cleared, and so we need to watch out for our health. We are going to enter into a section of health very heavy on this program, and I'll be taking you on so many episodes on that, and I'd like you to keep listening to it. So sickness is one of the major enemy to our thinking capacity. What other things are we talking about? The 4 Ds of mental strength, or mental stronghold, or mental derangement. What are they? They are distraction, they are discouragement, they are depression, they are delays. These 4 Ds they can keep you under a low thinking capacity. Once you are distracted, your brain does not function well. Once you are discouraged because of the things you hear, because of the things you feel, because of the things you see, oh my God, even discouragement has stopped so many people from moving forward because of what they heard. I heard in the Bible that Elijah's ministry was terminated because of discouragement, just from what he heard from the woman Jezebel. Oh my God, it changes the whole of his ministry. He summarized his ministry because he said he was the only one. He became discouraged and he could not move forward. So be careful of what you hear, be careful of what you feel, be careful of what you see. These are very, very important. They are the ones that cause discouragement. So anything you see should be able to lead you to where you can move forward in the right direction. What are the other days? Depression. Depression closes your door. It's like a closed heaven. Once you're under depression, you can't get any inspiration. You cannot be interested in anything. Once you are under depression, all you'll be thinking about is suicidal tendencies, and you don't see anything good about life, and then mental disorders will also follow. So those are strongholds that we're talking about. What about delay? Delay are things that can make you, when you begin to talk of delay, it frustrates you. And so we need to be able to handle these issues so that we can think better. Another major enemy of the thinking capacity is carnality. Once you're always thinking about self, once you're always thinking about dubious things, negative things, it hinders your thinking capacity from a problem-solving capacity. We are here to solve problems and not to think negative, and not to cause sin, and not to cause another person to fall. So carnality is a major enemy. We need to take ourselves out of this, and before you know it, when our thinking capacity will begin to improve. And once we improve our thinking capacity, I can tell you, we can handle anything at any time. Every impossibility exists at your thinking level. That thing that seems impossible only exists at your mind, only exists in your brain, only exists in your thought realm, your thought pattern. If only you can see it as it is, oh my God, if only your mind can take it, I'm telling you, before you know it, that thing that is a hindrance or obstacle, you will soon get over it. You can even handle sickness at the level of your mind. And once your mind is excited, you can receive, because your excitement determines your consignment. That is what we are talking about on this program. I advise you, I encourage you to keep on listening to this exciting episode and this program, so that your life can move to the next level. As I give you this story, because ignorance is a major hindrance. What you don't know can kill you. I'm telling you, that's why every day of your life you should keep on knowing, learn new things on a daily basis, because ignorance is the worst sickness on earth. The antidote for ignorance is information. One day a man named Adamu went to buy a new Camry car. Year later, charges from a company, and he was given guarantee for at least 1 year. This man brought the car home and he was highly excited. Guess what happened when he brought the car home? All the way from Lagos in southwest down to his village in one of the northern states. He was excited. Guess what happened when he was at home? Anytime in the evening, as from 6 o'clock, the car will not move again. Once it is during the day, the car will start moving. So it became a cause of concern for this Adamu, and he has to call back the company and said, hey company, this car, anytime it is night, as from 6 p.m., is no longer moving. I doesn't know why. And they became confused. The engineers at the company say, this car we gave you, the new car, will not have any problem. Adamu said, no, this is what I have been experiencing. So it became a matter of concern. It get to a point that they have to send an engineer all the way from that to his village to be able to handle this car. Guess what happened when they met with Adamu? Adamu entered the car. Let's see where the problem is. He started the car with ignition. Car started moving, and they moved during the day. So they waited for the evening to see whether the car will move or not in the evening. When it was 6 p.m., they said, Adamu, let us see how the car is going to misbehave. Guess what happened? Adamu entered the car, and it's an automatic car. And you know, in automatic, there is P, parking, D, drive, N, neutral, and then all the other D's that follows, drive. Adamu by 6 p.m. put the gear on N because he thought that N was night. So anytime when it was 6 p.m., Adamu would change the gear system and put it on N, and the car will refuse to move. And that was what caused this man, an engineer, to come from the southwest Lagos to his town in one of the northern states. And they say this is ignoramus stupiditis. Ignorance is the worst sickness. It's worse than poverty. So every day of your life, try and tackle ignorance. On this daily positive living program, we are here to tackle ignorance out of your life so that you can have necessary information and power to improve your thinking capacity. I still remain your regular anchor, Dr. Daniel Otto, and I tell you, keep on listening to this program so that your level can move to another level. Keep listening, stay tuned for the next episode, and I know on this program your life will not remain the same again. Thank you, and God bless you. Stay tuned for the next episode.